Hey guys, and welcome back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Down South. Today, I know it's been a while, but we have Lungisa Takane's second place deck profile from the Cape Town Regional that happened, I think it was last weekend. But we've got the second place Cape Town Regional list. Technically, this is first place though, because he did actually end up coming first in Swiss. It was a small regional, it was only about 26 people, but this deck went 5-0. It's Gouki's baby, Gouki's boy. So, really interesting list. It's like really spicy, as you can see on screen here. So, I just wanted to go through the list with you guys. Big ups to Lungi again for giving me the list. He's also given me his matchups, which I'll go through in a little bit. But let's get into the list real quick. Starting off, you can see pretty quickly that it's not quite your average Gouki list, because we start off with 3 Destiny Hero Militias. And what? Why? Well, as you can see down here, we have Triple Armageddon Knight as well, and this is essentially a wombo combo where you have Armageddon Knight, dump Malicious, Malicious Summon itself, which makes Isolde, and that is what Goukis do, because Isolde is so good as just a generic warrior link monster. Like, the joke that when it came out was the fact that it's the new, like, elemental hero link, basically, because it's a double pointing downward generic warrior linker. So Armageddon Knight, dumping Malicious, it's a 1-card Isolde, essentially. And that's sort of what this deck wants to do, because that starts to get you towards your plays. So really interesting and really spicy. I really like this combo over here. Lungi also mentioned that Armageddon Knight, and just in general, that sort of part of the combo really helped to just do things like bait back row, and it helped a lot going second, because I'm sure most of you guys know Goukis aren't really famed very well for going second. So really spicy tech, really interesting, and I totally get why you played it. It makes a lot of sense. Going on to the Goukis, we have triple suplex. I think it's called suplex in the TCG. Triple twist cobra, 1 wrist Scorpio, double octastretch, and double headbat. Sorry, it's a little bit all over the place with the ordering for some reason, but those are pretty standard ratios. I do see people generally running 1 less twist cobra, but like it's more or less variance here. I understand it. A lot of people will run 1 less twist cobra to run the new one, the bear hug, just as an extra name. But like, I totally get it. And twist cobra sort of does more in general. It's also a level 3 to help with your invoker plays, so I get it. Necro Gardener here, another spicy tech. Sorry, I'm kind of skipping all over the list. Necro Gardener here, another spicy tech, can be dumped with Armageddon Knight, and is a level 3 warrior, so it helps make Isolde, as well as can be dumped by Armageddon Knight as a battle stopper, which is really good. And then obviously the 3 junk forwards. Lungi, where did you get 3 junk forwards? I've been looking for ages. It feels like there are only maybe 2 junk forwards in the entire country. I have 12 on order from Germany, but they haven't arrived yet. So I'm not playing Gouki anytime soon. Anyway, moving on, we have 6 hand traps, 3 Ash, and 3 Ogre, because remember, this is before the amazing ban list that's coming into effect on Monday. So had to run the hand traps because Pendulum is a deck. And so is everything else, and Ogre is good against those things. So running 6 hand traps there is pretty standard. And then the 1 Nightmare Corruptor Ibli, because we're running a Nightmare engine here, boys, so we got to do that. And that's it for the monster lineup. For the spells, we have a bunch of power on-offs. We got 1 Rhoda, 1 Soul Charge, 1 Foolish Bear, 1 Monster Reborn. Nothing to really say about power one-off spells. Interestingly, only 2 Gouki rematch, and I asked Lungi about it, and he said the reason for this was that Gouki rematch is sort of your general extender. Like, drawing multiples is dead. You're only going to use it once per turn anyway. So, whereas multiples will sort of help you with recovery play, or like 3 will help you with recovery play, generally you only need to resolve 1 anyway, and it being once per turn becomes a bit of a problem. Then we've got triple Call by the Grave. I don't know about this. I feel like maybe 2 is the correct number, but obviously it worked for him. The fact that it stopped hand traps, and I think that's the main reason. Gouki is incredibly vulnerable in general to hand traps, so triple Call by the Grave here is pretty much a must if you want to play the deck. And then we have the 2 Equip Skulls. You've got 1 Moon Mirror Shield and 1 Divine Sword Phoenix Blade. Pretty self-explanatory. You send one each time of an Isolde effect, essentially, to summon out Octastretch. And Phoenix Blade can just help a little bit with OTKs because it gives your monsters an extra 300 attack, and Mirror Shield obviously makes them beefier than your opponent for the most part. And then lastly, one Phantom Knights of Shadebreaker. This is a really cool tech that I last saw in Lightsworns about a year ago. Just to give you an extra, in this case it's an extra warrior once again to go into Isolde. And there's one thing I want to ask about that I didn't actually ask Lungi about with regards to the Isolde when we get to the extra deck. But it makes Isolde, it's another warrior. As soon as you get into Isolde, you start doing things. So that's really, really good. On to our extra. We have Dawn Dragster because most of the Goukis are 4. And most of our tuners on the whole are 3. So this is pretty cool. Because in a pinch, you normal summon a hand trap. And you make something that negates spells and traps. And because Gouki likes the extra link and do all these crazy boards, like you can make a good board and just back it up with Dawn Dragster if you didn't use your normal summon, which is really, really, really good. Super spicy TCG tech going on there. The one Invoker to essentially just summon out a bunch of warriors. Remember, MX Saber Invoker again makes his ult pretty much immediately because you make the one card and then you make the Invoker and then you make his ult from that, so it makes sense. For the rank 4s, we got Barload, Skulldread, and Firewall, all pretty standard. Firewall helps a lot here because Firewall helps with, because Goukis essentially recur themselves, that's the point. It just helps getting more and more cards on board to be doing more crazy link shenanigans. One Drusbana, people are sleeping on this card, I'm telling you. Drusbana is insane, it's so good. And the fact that you can basically just special, as long as you can special summon a monster to a place it points to, it nukes the entire board, like Harpy's Feather Duster or Heavy Storm Mother, and banishes as well. Like, it's just really, really, really good. I dig it a lot. It's one of my favorite cards out of Flames of Destruction. And then Trigate Wizard, because obviously we're making a whole bunch of links, so we want something that can make a big board. Onto our Nightmares. No Griffin here, but we do have Unicorn, double Phoenix, double Cerberus, 1 Goblin, and 1 Mermaid. Mermaid, obviously, for the spicy Ibli plays. And then, lastly, we have 1 Lonely Isolde. I'm not quite sure why there's only the 1 Isolde here. Maybe you could only get 1. Generally, you should be playing at least 2. But maybe he found he only really made 1, which again would make sense. You're not really making more than 1 in a turn. You're making 1 to make the board, and if you make the board, happiness. But for continual plays, you'll probably want multiple extra Isoldes. And then onto our side, double Gamma Seal because Master Beast is still a thing. Artifact Engine of 1 Scythe, 2 Lancia, and triple Sanctum. This I think is because Lungi expected a lot of Lair Noid and stuff like that. Because I know Cape Town was just rampant with that kind of stuff, and Lancia is obviously stops that, and Sanctum gets you to that, and if they pop the Sanctum, you get extra value. It's just good. I really like the Artifact Engine. I try to squeeze it into anything, but sometimes you just don't have the space, you know? And then Double Shared Ride, not quite sure why that's there for this format, but it'll be really good once Sky Strikers take over the minute, Double Twin Twisters, because backrow decks suck, and triple Red Reboot, because guess what? I'm going to Red Reboot you, and then I'm going to OTK your face through your board. It's really, really good. Now, let's get on to his matchups. Round 1, he played Zefra 2-1. Round 2, Pendulum FTK 2-0. That's impressive, because Pendulum FTK, and like, I was testing Pendulum FTK, and that FTK happens way more than it should. Round 3, Trickstars 2-0. Round 4, Chainburn 2-0. Round 5, Altergeist 2-0. This man's was first after Swiss. So technically, once again, this is another first place deck profile that's been messed around by weird top 8 cuts that are regional. But anyway, he then went on to top 8. He played Lair Noids in the top 8, 2-0'd. Probably because of that Lancia in the side there, Lungi. And top 4 was True Draco, which again, he 2-0'd. Really good, because True Draco was really good this format. So the fact that Gouki just came and just destroyed them, I assume with the board, essentially, pretty good. And then in the finals, he ended up losing to 60 card Dino 1-2. So he lost in game 3. Told me he bricked in game 3. Much sadness. But guess what, Lungi? Don't have to worry anymore because 60 card is gone come Monday. And that is it for Lungisa Takane's first bracket second place deck profile. It's Gouki's, it's good, it's definitely one to watch for nationals. I do a profile on it, but like I said, I don't have junk forwards, and I want to do sort of real profiles for decks to watch for nats, if I can manage to get that stuff up my channel. So hopefully stay tuned for that, and I'll have that soon. So that's it for now. Please, like the video, maybe subscribe to the channel. Comment below what other kind of stuff you want me to see. If there's anything you want me to profile or do before nationals, hit me up in the comments below. And yeah, just on a side note, I'm sure you all know, because most of you came to this YouTube channel by way of my presence on Facebook, but I will be selling Dark Saviors, boosters, boxes, and singles right before nationals. Set comes out 2 days before nationals, so just keep an eye out for that. I'll get pre-order prices up as soon as possible. And yeah, I hope to see you guys at Nats. It's going to be a good one. And otherwise, I will see you guys next time.